What's poppin', Cougs? Welcome back to Coug on the Clock. I'm Alexander Huddleston.
And I'm Kat Rowley.
Kat Rowley, welcome to the desk. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
That's good, because I'm excited too.
Perfect.
Today we're going to talk about WSU sports. So with that, let's get into the show. Ready to go?
Yep.
All right. First up, we got WSU swim.
I grew up swimming.
There we go.
So this has been like my thing since I was 4, and I also swim club here at WSU. So I love swim to death. I also cover it for the school newspaper.
I like swimming too.
I know it's really fun. But I mean, this year we have Chloe Larson, who's coming off a really big season last year, winning the first WSU Pac-12 individual title in the 50 free. I think she won a sub 22.
Like the first ever?
First ever.
Oh, wow.
First ever.
Wow.
So that's a really, really big thing for the program. I mean, this program's been up and running since Matt Leach stepped foot in Pullman. And I mean, he used to be at Wyoming, I believe is where it was. And Wyoming's a pretty good team now, too. And he's recruiting some of the best swimmers in the country. I mean, this is also, a really, really young team.
Super young. 6 freshmen, 8 sophomores.
Yeah. I mean, it's super young. And you have 3 of the 5th years who are coming back for their 5th year because of COVID. And I mean, you have the 3 that went way deep into the Pac-12s. And then Chloe Larson, too, who also swam at the Olympic trials, went really far in the NCAAs. But then you also have, Taylor McCoy, who had an amazing meet against UCLA, winning a couple races and getting second against some of the best swimmers in the country. And I mean, individually, we have a really good team. Individually, and our relay teams are amazing, too. I mean, you have Chloe Larson anchoring almost every single freestyle relay that she possibly can. And they've been winning. I mean, Chloe Larson's undefeated in the 50 freestyle.
That's crazy.
Against the entire season.
Oh, my gosh.
So she's just getting better and better, and I'm really excited to see what she's going to do in NCAAs and in Pac-12s in general this year. I mean, it should be a really, really fun Pac-12 meet to watch and hopefully go to.
Yeah.
They host it in Seattle every year, but except last year because of COVID. But I think
stupid COVID.
You're really going to see in the next couple of years this WSU swim team really kind of pop off in the Pac-12. And I mean, they're
really ramping up right now.
Oh, they definitely are. And I mean, they're not swimming against just like anyone. I mean, they're swimming against Pac-12 Olympians. I mean, Pac-12 is literally the conference of Olympians when it comes to swim. I mean, you have Katie Ledecky, you have all of these, Nathan Adrian, all of these, I could go on and on, but you have all these amazing Olympic swimmers that came from the Pac-12 too. Yeah. And I mean, Taylor Ruck was a swimmer from Canada, and I think she swam for UCLA. And I mean,
UCLA is a really good team.
And UCLA is one of the best teams in the country. They always have been. Them, SC, and Stanford are kind of like that hub in California. I mean, they should, but you're seeing them swim. I mean, getting seconds and thirds against and sweeping sometimes too. So this team really can go far, and I think we're going to see kind of an uprise of WSU swim, and maybe we'll also be a swim school instead of just a soccer school. And yay, women's sports! But
that's right.
I really think you're going to see Matt Leach start to just keep producing over and over again. Pac-12 individual championships, titles, and hopefully a Pac-12 championship at some point, because that would be so fun to watch.
So So I mean, I'm excited. This seems like a really exciting team to keep watching. And if you're really interested, if it sounds fun to you, they're actually hosting Grand Canyon University on Friday.
At noon, yeah.
At noon. Go check them out.
They're fun.
If you don't have class, most of us probably will, but you know what? Teachers,
it's okay.
They don't know. Just say you're sick.
Go support the swimmers. They like having people in the stands, as does everybody.
That's right. And we're going to just keep swimming into our next topic.
Honey.
WSU volleyball. Holy cow, what a season. This is nuts.
These women got off to an extremely slow start. I mean, they...
Yeah, four straight losses, and then out of nowhere, 8 straight wins.
Yeah, 4 straight losses.
What was that?
Ask Jen Greeny, I don't know. But I don't know what she's been feeding them, but it's working.
It's Mike's special stuff.
It's Mike's special stuff.
Finished? Great speech and all, Doc. You had them riveted. But didn't you forget something?
What?
Your secret stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, this last weekend, they're coming off a historic weekend. I mean, they have the most aces in a weekend in program history, and they also had, Magda had one of the best matches ever as a Coug on Boulder gym floor. I mean, at Boulder gym.
There, that place.
That place, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have Hannah Pukis, Cleo Williams, Pia Magda, and now Katie Ryan too. And I mean, not even to mention Penny Tusa or Logan Golden, who are amazing behind the line. I mean, Penny Tusa only needs like 10 more aces to have the all-time ace in program history. I mean, she's beating her coach at this point. She's already surpassed her coach in aces. But Magda had an insane match this last weekend. I mean, she hit an 830, 840 on the dot, no hitting errors, 22 kills on 28 attacks. I mean, Magda went off against ASU this last weekend, and not only that too, but you have Pia Timmer, who is Pia Timmer. I mean, we can go on and on all day about Pia Timmer, but then you also have Hannah Pukis, who's also playing so versatile behind the net. I mean, she's killing, blocking, setting. She's doing everything. Not only that, but she had a couple aces. I mean, I personally think, it's a little bit older of a team. They're not as young as the swim team, but I really do think that these women could go.
And they got one more year.
And they have one more year, too.
Yeah, because all those players that you're mentioning are all juniors.
Well, Hannah Pukis, redshirt junior, Clea, redshirt junior, Pia,
and they all get
junior,
one more year as well
Magda,
because
junior.
of COVID.
Yeah.
So I mean, we get 2 more years.
And I mean, we also have Katie Ryan, who's one of the best freshmen in the Pac-12 right now. No one can tell me otherwise because she is. But from last year to this year, I mean, this team is insane, and I really do think they can make a really, really deep run in the NCAA tournament.
Now,
I think Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four would be amazing, but they got to beat some pretty big teams.
They got to beat UCLA.
They got to beat UCLA, which they haven't been able to do.
We lost twice to UCLA. Won't go into it.
Well, I mean, you take Mac May out of the situation, which she's a 5th year, so I think she's gone next year. But you take Mac May, who literally, if you look at it, just kill, Mac May, Mac May. If you take Mac May out of it, I think WSU might have a chance, but I'm not saying she needs to get injured or anything. I really like watching Mac May, but you got to be UCLA.
We're not going to Tanya Harding anybody
no,
right now.
No, we're not. But I mean, Mac May and UCLA is the key to this team because they haven't been able to beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat Oregon, they beat UW. Those are historically top 10 teams.
UW was a major win.
UW was a big win. So, I mean, they can do it if they want to, and they almost did it against UCLA a couple times.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Well, super excited to continue watching that
team.
Thank you.
Yes,
forgot the word for the second. Wow, I am on fire. All right, we're going to move on to WSU football against Oregon. Like Oregon, 8-1. WSU, soon to be 8-4.
Don't jinx it.
I'm not jinxing it. I'm not even. You don't even know what teams are playing.
Left in the season?
We don't know.
It's Arizona and UW after this week.
We don't know.
Anyway, okay.
Okay, so with this game, what's going on? What do we got?
This is my favorite game of the year.
It is.
It's always U of O, WSU. It always comes down to the Battle of the North. That's what it's come down to for the last couple of years, except for when UW won the Apple Cup and that won the North. We're not getting into it, but U of O and WSU historically, they can't necessarily.
They can't coexist.
They can't coexist, but they've also always had the same offense.
Okay.
Oregon had an air raid with Cristobal when Leach was here, but I mean they still have an air raid, but we don't have that big of an air raid anymore.
No, it's more like a run gun.
Run gun, yeah. So I don't know, but no one can keep up with our receivers or our running backs. They haven't been able to cover Borghi the last couple of years. So
and now throw McIntosh in the mix.
Throw McIntosh too. I mean, I really don't think Oregon's star defensive back, Kayvon Thibodeau, is one of the best players in college football. He was one of the best high school players in the country, and now he's at Oregon, which is one of the, well, they haven't won a national championship, so I can't say best program in the nation, but they do have a big O in their field to represent that, just saying. But I mean,
it's funny.
They have, WSU has the talent, Oregon has the talent. It should be a good one. I mean, this is what College Game Day came to Pullman in 2018 for this game.
That's awesome.
When Menchie was here. So
I wish I was here.
I really think that it kind of comes down to, can WSU play like they did against ASU? Because if they play like they did against ASU, lights out football, no problem.
Now ASU was with Dickert.
Yeah, that was his first win.
Right, that was Oregon.
So there's that too, but then also I think Oregon is an extremely slow starting team.
They're a second half team.
They're second half
just
team.
Just like USC.
Just like USC. And
we saw how that worked.
And
because we got comfortable with how they were playing.
Yeah, and then they came up and just
London balled out.
But I really think that, Oregon did not play well against UW in the first half. They didn't do it. They couldn't stop anyone, and I mean, it was UW. But I really think that if Oregon comes to play and WSU comes to play, it's going to be a really, really good game, and I think it's going to be one to watch. Do I think Oregon is overrated? Yes, I do. Do I think they should be ranked 5? No, I don't. But we also beat Stanford, and Stanford beat them. They couldn't beat Stanford. So I think it really comes down to who's going to show up. Are we going to show up the team that we played Utah State with, or are we going to show up with the team that we played ASU with? That's what it really comes down to. But again, this is one of my favorite ones. You guys can watch it at 7:30 on Saturday on FS1. It should be a really good one.
Yeah, it's exciting game.
My favorite one of the year. So
hopefully, it's a good game. We'll just say that it's a good game.
It's going to
be a good game.
It's going to be a good
hopefully.
Game.
Moving on.
On to the next topic, Jimmy Lake. Now, this has been kind of a topic of controversy in college football last week, especially in the Pac-12, and especially in Montlake. It's where UW's campus is.
I didn't know that. I'm not from here, but thank you.
You're welcome. But, I mean, going to start off with
Seattle, right?
Seattle, yeah. To go off of it, I mean, Jimmy Lake has been a very, very respected defensive coordinator under Chris Peterson since he's been there. I mean, Chris Peterson was the head coach of UW. I hate UW, but I have a lot of respect for Peterson.
I love Chris Peterson. He was great.
Oh, no, respect for Chris Peterson. I just don't like purple.
Yeah, it's an ugly color.
But, I mean, he had the Cougs number for years. We haven't won an Apple Cup in 9 years.
That's crazy. Oh, my gosh.
He had the Cougs number because it was the same thing that we do every single year. It's a new coach this year, new everything. So I don't know how he's going to do that way, but I do know that the altercation that did happen on the field during the Oregon game got him suspended for a game against ASU, which is not a game that he needs to be suspended for, but if they lose, I'm not mad about it.
A game without pay.
A game without pay, too.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so like I've heard, there's reasons other than this situation that he should be fired, right? He's had a pretty rough season as the coach. But just in this situation alone, like the altercation, now I get he didn't punch. He pushed a referee. You don't do that. Come on, like that's self-control. But the player part, which is what everybody's talking about, I don't think it's a big deal. And all the sports I've played in my life, like if this gets him fired, if they fire him for this reason, then I want to go back to high school and talk to every one of my coaches that I've ever had, because I've seen and been dealt a lot worse than that. Like I think that wasn't a big deal. Like that's just part of it.
I think a large part of it too is since he's already had such a rough season with I just think that
thin ice.
I think he's already on thin ice, and
Yeah.
I mean every year the Husky fans are like, oh, this is the year we're going to the NCAA. Whatever. Yeah, I'm
Like the
sorry,
Cowboys.
but
It's our year.
yeah, like the Cowboys.
It's our year.
You went 1 year and you got your, what handed to you by
Again,
Alabama.
I
So,
love Dak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really just have, I did not like Jimmy Lake as the hire to begin with. I think there was a lot of better people that could have come into Montlake. I think they should have kept him as the defensive coordinator, especially since he kind of had WSU and Oregon's number at some times, but they can't beat Oregon, obviously. But I think it really comes down to what is the athletic director going to continue to let happen? I mean, they just fired their offensive coordinator. Now, that offensive coordinator should have been gone a long time ago, so that's not anything new. But it really just comes down to what are they going to let him and his academic prowess stay? It just kind of comes down to that.
Well, we'll see. It's 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
3 weeks. UW has a bye week this week, and then I don't know who they play, and then they play us.
Okay, well, we'll see them then. And I actually saw a stat that said this was the first Apple Cup with 2 interim coaches.
Yes, it is. It is the first Apple Cup for 2 interim coaches.
That's pretty cool. We're alive for that. We're here for that.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens after this week, just because they are still investigating it. Personally, I think they've already had their decision. Rumor is that UW is already looking for new coaches.
Yeah.
So that's a Seattle problem, not a Pullman problem. So I'm just going to keep with the Pullman
But there's
problems
not many
right
problems in Pullman.
now. No, there's
Just
not.
a happy little farm town.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Are we good to move on?
I'm good,
Are
yeah.
we good to wrap up?
Yep.
Well, that's all we got. Follow us on all of our social medias, but particularly Instagram, at unorthodox.sports, and just keep up with our daily updates, weekly schedules of shows, funny clips, anything. We even put polls on there sometimes. And thank you all for voting for my show, by the way, against the weekend wrap-up. I love you, Trevor, but I'm Alexander Huddleston.
And I'm Kat Rowley.
Kat Rowley. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time, and go Cougs.
Go Cougs. Have a great night.